Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas inside the world-famous Mayweather Boxing Club alongside legendary sportscaster Jim Gray of Showtime Sports. Jim, what an honor this is, really. It's great to talk to you. Will you be working the event?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
You'll be
great
doing
to talk to you too.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
Yeah.
You'll be doing your general duties, post-fight interviews, things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel, as someone who's been around this game a long time, how do you feel about this spectacle?
Well, I look at it, to me it's fun. I mean, you got Conor McGregor. This guy's huge in the MMA, and he's got a worldwide reputation and a fan base, and he's proved to be in that arena, the top.
Yes.
Against Floyd Mayweather, 49-0, beat every fighter of his generation, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and so it's fun. I don't get into the whole thing of the controversies and all of that, because to me, this is just a fight, and it's no different than any other fight. And this guy brings in credentials from a different arena, and Floyd brings in credentials from boxing, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun.
There are some who believe that if Conor can pull off this upset, it would be a nightmare for boxing. It would be disastrous for boxing. It would be disastrous for his legacy. Do you believe that as well?
Was it a nightmare for football when Joe Namath won?
A little bit different, right? Since Conor hasn't boxed professionally.
And nobody had ever beaten an NFL team. So,
Fair.
I mean, there's a first for everything.
Sure.
Do I think that's going to happen? No. But nothing can kill boxing. Boxing hasn't killed itself.
Right.
And boxing's had a tremendous upswing in recent years.
Yes.
Look at what's going on this year. 90-something thousand people to watch Klitschko and Joshua. 50-something thousand people to watch Ariel Spence and Kell Brook. Everywhere we go, these arenas are sold out. So, I mean, it might bring the MMA up to a higher level for this to happen, but I don't know how this kills boxing. I don't see that logic at all.
As someone who has covered every event under the sun, do you get a little more up for things like this? Does the blood boil a little more when you know the world will be watching this? Could be the biggest pay-per-view of all time.
Well, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm always excited. This is a huge event.
Yeah.
This is a spectacle.
Yeah.
This is something that, has never happened before. You can go back to when Ali fought and the wrestler. A little bit different because nobody knew the Japanese wrestler.
Antonio Inoki.
Yeah, correct. And so he was known in Japan and maybe parts of Asia, but not worldwide. Conor is known throughout all of Europe. He's known throughout the United States and North America, Mexico. So it's a little bit different. And hey, let's just see where it is. And by the same token, this doesn't diminish the MMA if Floyd kills him. I mean, it's a different deal. It's a different sport. Look, at the end of the day, here's what it is: the best fighter of his generation fighting against a guy from MMA who is one of the best. And I'm not well enough versed in all of the MMA to say where he would rank, on the pedestal, but very high up there. And he's a tough guy. He's used to getting kneed in the groin. He's used to getting kicked in the ear. He's used to getting poked in the eye and choked. Floyd hasn't knocked out anybody since 2011, Victor Ortiz, okay? And he's almost 41 years old coming up. He hasn't fought in 2+ years. So anything can happen. The first fight that I ever did, first fight that I was ever assigned to was Ali against Spinks.
Wow.
And everybody said, oh, it's great, you're going to see Muhammad Ali, and this will be an easy one, so it should be fun. And Spinks has no chance. He's only had 7 professional fights and won the Olympic gold medal, but he's not in the same class. The odds were astronomical. Don't remember exactly where they were, but they're much higher than what they are for this fight. And look what happened. Leon Spinks won. So you don't know in boxing. You don't know when time is up for a guy. You don't know. I mean, I don't know what Conor McGregor's capable of in the ring. Nobody does. He's never done it before.
Yeah.
So it's an oddity, but we just have to wait and see. Everybody should just relax, have fun with it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it.
I agree.
$100 really doesn't change many people's lives. So if you pay your $100, get some friends, have a good time, see what happens.
It's interesting you mentioned the Ortiz fight. Afterwards, Floyd had a very sort of infamous moment with Larry Merchant. Since going over to Showtime, in that role, the post-fight interview role, what has your relationship been like with Floyd?
My relationship with Floyd has always been spectacular.
Okay.
He's been very professional. He's been courteous. He's been respectful. He's on time when we show up to do the pre-fight interviews and whatever. I respected him before when he was fighting over on HBO, and we would see each other, and he would come to fights. going back to his days as an amateur in the Olympics. So I've never had a problem. He's always been great.
As a veteran in this game, still very much at the top of your game, what are your thoughts on MMA? I'm always curious about what the sort of, the veterans think about it. Some despise it. I've heard Bob Costa say a lot of sort of negative things, and I have great respect for him. But for you in combat sports, do you have an appreciation for it, or do you just not get it?
I have a tremendous appreciation for the athletes who participate and a tremendous respect for them. These are rugged, athletic competitors. I'm going to give you an answer you're not going to like. I really don't know anything and enough about it. I don't follow it. It's not something, that I've spent a lot of time watching. I don't want to say I don't understand it because I think it's pretty easy to comprehend. But I just, I do professional football, basketball, and boxing. So I haven't had a lot of time, at least in my life, to watch the MMA. But no, I have tremendous respect, and I'm a huge admirer of what the UFC has accomplished. The Fertittas and Dana White and all of these people, they've taken something and built it. They've taken something that was nothing really and built it into a worldwide spectacle. And Patrick Weitzel and Ari Emanuel and IMG, WME. I mean, they've got a worldwide brand now that those people built. So yeah, I have tremendous appreciation for it. I just don't know anything about it.
And hey, you said a lot more than I expected with some of those names, so I give you kudos. Before I let you go, as someone who grew up admiring your work and broadcasters of all kinds, watched you with Pete Rose and NBA on NBC, the list goes on and on. For you personally, what's the greatest moment of your career thus far? What sticks out? What was the moment that you think, when it's all said and done, you'll be like, that was the one. That's the one I'll tell the great-grandchildren about.
It's kind of hard to say. And I really haven't cataloged it like that,
Sure,
Ariel.
I know.
So
it's hard to smell the roses in the midst of it all.
I haven't really done all that, but there's probably, I've been lucky enough to interview every president since Richard Nixon, so those have all been, an honor, and President Gorbachev and some of those. But in sports, probably just all the interviews that I got to do with Ali, and then really one I'm really proud of is the Tyson ear biting. The night of that fight, because of all the thousands of interviews, I didn't screw that one up, and it would have been something that I would have always looked back on, with regret, but I got it right that night. And so I guess maybe that would be the one, but I'd have to think a little bit longer about it.
No problem. That's a pretty darn good one. I was 15 years old, by the way, when that
15?
happened. Yes.
Okay.
And
I remember.
I remember it vividly. Again, an honor, really, sincerely, and very happy that you'll be working this event. I'm looking forward to your coverage.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.